Welcome to Design Perspectives, a special series where we team up with Jenny Pippin of Pippin Home Designs to explore the intersection of technology and innovative residential design. Each episode, we dive into Jenny's design philosophy, how she leverages technology to bring her clients' visions to life, and the evolving trends shaping today's homes. Whether it's solving design challenges, incorporating smart solutions, or reflecting on standout projects, Jenny's expertise offers a fresh perspective on blending beauty, functionality, and cutting-edge technology. Let's discover how great design meets modern living. I'm excited to welcome back one of my favorite guests on the podcast today. We have Jenny Pippin of Pippin Home Designs.
Jenny, Andrew does not do the live sound effects for many people, so you are special.
So
Yes,
cool.
I was telling Mark about that. I usually like to add it in after, but
No, not
my
today.
favorite guest is back.
I love
Welcome
that.
back.
Thank you. I love being here.
You are very unique because you design some pretty incredible and award-winning homes. And we thought, what a great idea to maybe share with some of our listeners some of the things that you see from a technology standpoint in homes that you design that people want, and some of the challenges, successes, whatever of projects that you've done. Is that cool?
Absolutely.
Pre this podcast, you brought up home theaters. And I think you said there's always a home theater or a space for some sort of media room. Is that fair?
In every house. Absolutely. Yes.
In every house. Okay. And so tell us a little bit more about that. Like, how do you design that? How much is the customer involved? You know, what kind of requests do you get? That kind of thing.
Well, a lot of our clients are looking for a specific space, like an actual theater room. And then others are looking for a more multi-purpose space. So it can be rec room with the big screen TV and pool table and that sort of thing. The ones that want the specific home theater are big movie buffs. And one of them actually is an actress. And so
Oh, wow.
She
Very
wants
nice.
a real screening room in her house, right? And so we have to design in multi-levels. And
Meaning rows of seating.
yes.
Gotcha.
And so we're looking for how many people do they want to try to fit in there?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And where is this room located? Is it in a space that is going to have windows or not windows? Most people don't want windows in that room. So,
Right.
Definitely need light control.
yeah. So you want to put it on a space in an area of the house where it's internal. So you're not taking up one of your rooms that could have a fabulous view with a home theater. Although you could close off draperies and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me back up for a sec. When people come to you and they say, man, I'm a movie buff, I want a theater, do they have ideas? Do they bring stuff to you? Is it like a house thing? Have they had one in the past? Or do they just sort of say, I want this, Jenny, you create it?
Well, a lot of them definitely have ideas. They have, some images that they've saved either in house or on Pinterest or, just scrolling somewhere.
Sure.
And they share some inspiration pictures with me. A lot of it is around, the decor of it, not so much, the technical aspect.
Some theme rooms out there. There's
Themes.
definitely some theater theme rooms.
Yes, there are. And then, of course, the snack bar area. That's big.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta have that.
Gotta have that. And then it's talking about the number of people they want to put in there. How many seats do they comfortably need? And if they have overflow, what are we going to do with that? And then where does the equipment go?
There's a lot of design aspects that go into it. We were just talking off air about the golden ratios of a room, which we can talk about in a second. There's also heating and air, not only for comfort, but for sound too.
And the equipment as well, right?
That's exactly right.
Mhm.
And whether they want to see it or not, some people like the lights and stuff, and some people don't want to see it at all.
Yep.
Things like the doors, are they solid core? And, that kind of thing is a big deal. You talked about seating, how deep the risers are, how big the people are, that kind of thing, height-wise or whatever. So do you take all of this kind of stuff into account?
Absolutely. Yeah. And, not only that, but thinking about how's this room going to be constructed? Because I've also heard that it's really important, how you're insulating, how you're soundproofing, and are you putting something on the floor? If it's in a basement, are you putting like sand, things like that under the seating? What's going on up there?
I am so glad you brought this up because I would have forgotten it and it would have been shame on me. the room within a room. It started with like double sheetrock, and then it was framing inside of framing and floating floors, and there's all kinds of suspension ceilings and stuff like that, so that sound doesn't travel outside of the room.
Right.
And also you get the maximum sound inside the room. If you're doing a studio for this actress customer, the impact to make it as realistic as possible, I'm sure, is very big. But that can get really expensive.
Yes.
I mean, that's just not slapping like a big screen TV or a projector with a screen on the wall.
Definitely not.
So that's pretty rare. The fact that you're taking that into account. And as a matter of fact, we talked about the golden ratios just a second ago. I'll be happy to explain it, but you're probably better at it than me. Tell me about that.
How the space can really function to the optimum sound that you want. You got to have a certain distance, width, and depth, and also taking into account how many people are going to be in there. Has something to do with the size of that room, but then you also don't want parallel walls. You want the walls to be angled. And then I just learned offline that we also need to have curves in the corners.
The golden ratios basically are a measurement. So you do not want parallel surfaces, and you don't want the surfaces to be the same. Like the height of from floor to ceiling should not be the same as the width of the walls in any place. Jenny was talking about how she actually angles the walls back. So think about, instead of a square or rectangle, square would be the worst, rectangle second worst. You actually have walls that are not parallel, so they angle back almost like a trapezoid. And that helps with standing waves inside the room, which enhances the experience and makes it so that you don't have these really boomy areas and then these really like dead areas where you're sitting. So that's the kind of next level design that Jenny brings to the table that not everybody even knows. Like, sure, make it dark. Okay, cool. But, you know, that's very, very next level thinking.
And it's not only the sidewalls that have to angle. You've got your ceiling and your floor now are different heights as well.
That's right. That's right. There's a lot that goes into a true theater. Now, not as much so for like a media room.
Right.
That's kind of a difference. But in a theater, that's a big one. And I got to tell this story real quick because it's funny and my wife will love it when she hears this. We have a basement and we did a theater in it. And I told her when we did it, I was like, the room needs to be dark. So I don't really care what color the walls are. They just need to be dark. You pick the color. I don't care. Just dark. So she goes through all this, and she and Ramon are down there. Hi, Ramon. And she picks like a maroon. All right, cool. It's dark. So Ramon paints the entire basement, this huge room, maroon. And we come back. First time she sees it. Oh, no. She goes downstairs and she walks in the room. And literally she's in there for like 2 seconds. And she breaks out bawling, crying. It looks like red rum. It looks like someone died in here.
Oh my
gosh.
No.
It really was awful, by the way. It was awful.
Poor Kristen.
Oh my God. So I call Ramon. Ramon is 5 minutes from our house. He has just left on his way home. And I call him and I'm like, Ramon, you got to repaint that.
ASAP, please. Kristen can't go down there.
He starts laughing. I actually had to give him audio equipment to help compensate for that.
A little incentive.
Oh my gosh.
Take a moment to engage with us. Use the hashtag SoundVisionPod on social media. Drop a comment, share your thoughts, or just let us know you're out there. Fire up those social media accounts and hit us up with hashtag SoundVisionPod. That's SoundVisionPod. And let's make this a podcast community. We can't wait to hear from you.
What kind of designs do you do in there? You know, do you do the pictures, like, movie pictures, and what kind of design stuff do you do?
Yeah, movie pictures, lighted, of course.
Yeah.
And then we put in the snack bar with the popcorn machine and drink cooler and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
All the bells and whistles. Yeah.
Do you use any acoustic treatments?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. All around. And I think part of using the sand in the floor is part of acoustics too.
It is to make it more dead. Acoustic treatments, there's a lot to learn about that.
Yeah.
Because there's acoustic treatments that absorb things, absorption.
Yep.
Then there's, like what we have in here, these panels, these are diffusers. So in different parts of the room, you want different things.
Exactly.
Here's a real common one. Here's a little pro tip for anybody listening. The point of first reflection. So a lot of times when you're in a theater and you're listening, sometimes the dialogue, I don't know, it's fuzzy. You can't really pinpoint where it's from. And the problem with that is the point of first reflection. So your speakers on either side, they come straight at you, but also they play in every direction. So they will bounce off the wall, outside of the left speaker into the outside of the right speaker. And then that reflection will also come to your ear. But imagine that's actually longer. So it gets to your ear later in time. And so what happens is your ears are trying to process this direct sound and then this reflected sound. That's what causes a lot of the kind of the fuzzy dialogue that a lot of people sometimes are like, I can't hear it or whatever. So here's a little trick. If you take a flashlight and a mirror and you take the mirror down the wall and you just watch in the mirror until you can see the reflection of the front speaker. And sometimes you need a flashlight if it's dark. But where you first see that reflection of that front speaker with the mirror, that needs an absorption panel right there. Oh. That's the point of first reflection. And so you want to make sure you have an absorption panel right there. You definitely do not want to have something that's reflective there.
Okay.
So the other thing is these diffusers. I'm acting like you can see this, but in the podcast room, diffusers in the back of the room are great. As sound travels, you want to kind of kill it as soon as it gets past where you are. You don't want to have weight or reflections. So diffuser panels will do that. Here's another little pro tip. Great diffuser panels, super cheap. If you have a bookshelf with books in it and you're okay with not being OCD and the books aren't like completely lined up, the spines of the books are like at different levels, that makes a perfect diffuser panel.
Really?
So
that's great to know. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the kind of things that help out sound inside the room.
I'm curious about the sand and how that played into acoustic treatments. Like, what was the thought or design process behind that?
Well, again, we were thinking it was something that would help with reverberation and with the sound deadening. And we weren't sure how the concrete under the room was going to interplay with the sound. So that was a way to buffer it.
Everything resonates. Right. So there's a resonant frequency for everything. And usually when you're talking about the ceiling or the floor, you're doing one of two things. Either one, you don't want sound to transfer out of that room to another room. Worst case, like a bedroom above you or below you or something like that. That's number one. Mm-hmm. And number two, you want to keep all the sound inside the room because if it gets out of the room, then you're losing that impact.
Yeah.
Right? So sand is really cool because it's porous. It's not solid. I mean, it is, but it allows it to kind of diffuse through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it also makes things very heavy. If you put a whole floor of sand down there, it's going to be pretty heavy, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to help deaden the room. So when you clap your hand, another little pro tip, if you're in the room and you clap, how reverberant is it? Is it super reverberant or is it dead? Does it die right when you clap? Mm-hmm. You don't want it totally dead, but you don't want it super reverberant.
Well, I'm wondering, what would you recommend to my clients to be the best way to sound insulate that room?
There's always cost in this.
Yeah.
If cost is no object, you build a room inside a room.
Yes. Okay.
And it's completely isolated through a bunch of different techniques, some of which we've talked about from the rest of the house. In practical application, that's not super common.
No, definitely not.
And very expensive. So it's usually some compromise in there. But that's where you start, and then you kind of bring it back. If it's two people and nobody else is in the house, who cares if it's isolated?
Right.
Like, doesn't matter.
Yeah, nobody's going to hear it but maybe the cat and dog.
Right.
Unless, you got one that stays up and likes that and one that doesn't.
Yes. Yeah, and then a lot of times we'll put the theater a long ways from the master suite,
yes,
too.
Yes. Yeah.
So you typically do them more in isolated rooms, not with windows, because a lot of your designs are for the view.
That's right. Yes. And we don't want to use a room that's going to be not taking advantage of that gorgeous view that they've just paid to take advantage of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's often in a basement, in the back area, that's not on an exterior wall.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same with the media room?
Not often. Most of the time, the media space is part of the rec room, which is on a view side.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've got a wall of windows. And that's another thing. Everybody's concerned about the reflection on the TV from that glass.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the best position for the TV in relation to where all that glass is.
So I don't want to get like too far out into the ethos here. There are anti-glare TVs now. They're the most expensive ones, but there are anti-glare TVs that will fix that. However, there is also a lot more taking advantage of that view and using that wall as the display. So let's say you've got a projector and a screen that's hidden in the ceiling with motorized window treatments. So when you want to watch TV, they come down, screen comes down.
Yeah.
That way you can face the furniture in the same orientation. It's not, hey, the TV's over here to the right and the lake is over here to the left.
Yes.
And now you got that issue.
Yeah.
There's more to it, but it solves both those problems.
And we've dealt with that either from, like you said, coming from the ceiling or coming up from a piece of furniture.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Yes.
You can do that too. And now with the dual roller shades too, you can have like a nice, shade that really just kind of blocks the sun, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a sheer fabric. So
Like
the
a
light
sheer
diffuses.
fabric.
You still have light, but it's diffused and not as intense.
Yeah, that's right. And then on the other side, you can have the room darkening version. So you can do either one, depending on the time of day or whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All in the same space.
All in the same space.
Yeah. Yeah, which I think is more practical for most of our clients than the dedicated home theater.
That's why I wanted to bring it up before we
Yes.
quit. I wanted to make sure that they know that there are options that are beyond sticking the TV above a fireplace
Yes.
or in a cabinet, and you have the glare. When you're designing something from scratch with the kind of level of design that you provide, there are equally as aesthetically pleasing options for this too.
Yes, there are. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It varies depending on what the client wants. And fortunately, there's a lot of flexibility in it.
Yes.
That's right.
That's true.
And that's where we come in.
And thank goodness for you.
Wow. Awesome.
We love
Well, this has been a good one.
I think so. Thank you, Jenny, for joining us. Come back anytime.
I would love to. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us for Simplifying Life Through Technology. To learn more about Sound Vision, visit our website at soundvisionlakenorman.com. You can follow us on X at SoundVisionLKN, find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at SoundVision LLC.